Hi, everyone. This is Hal Krosman with Screenwriting U, and today we're going to talk about how to create captivating characters. Now, I think this is an incredibly important thing to understand and to become really, truly great at it. I talk with A-list writers from time to time, and this is one of the big keys to their success, and absolutely can be something that you can stand out in this particular area. One thing I would like to say about this before we jump into it is what we did was we stood back and we went, you know what, characters are one of the big three, essentially. If you master those three things, you're going to end up being a great writer. Even if you're just average at the others, if you've got these top three things, which characters is number one on the list, you'll be incredible. But the question is, what does it take to get so good that not just you see it, right? But anyone who reads your script, any actor who thinks about playing the role says, oh my God, this is an incredible character. I absolutely have to do this, right? Because that's what you want. You want to end up with your project being made into a movie or a TV series and being something that you're known for from this point on. So let's walk through and talk about how to do that. As we're doing it, I'll be analyzing the scene from A Star is Born. And then at the end, we'll talk about this incredible class that is specifically designed to take your character creating abilities times 5. So you'll want to stay for that. Here we go. First, this is about creating great characters, and that means creativity, design, and expression. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there who like to say things like, you know, the character just came to me. And I've interviewed a whole lot of A-list actors or A-list writers who have said that. And then what I found out was, yes, it came to them, but it came to them through their ability to create, design, and express character. The same character could come to one person and show up on the page as stiff and uninteresting, while that character could come to an A-list screenwriter who has higher level skills and show up as absolutely incredible. So don't just rely on what pops into your head. In order to accomplish this, you got to look deep. You need to analyze a lot of great character moments so that you understand what causes it. And then discover the breakthroughs that will elevate your current writing. And just to be straight on this, breakthroughs, this is a level that most people don't operate at. It's one of the big things. We had a huge breakthrough about breakthroughs. And it's one of the big things that is the difference between A-list screenwriters and average screenwriters who could be A-list. The A-list are operating out of breakthroughs. You know, when they say things like, you know, that you read a scene and you go, oh my God, what they did was incredible. And you can't tell for sure what they did. It's like what they did was they operated out of their breakthroughs, right? They created out of a breakthrough of who that character was going to be instead of just what just came to them. This thing right here, mastering breakthroughs, can totally change your life as a writer. So keep that in mind. Now let's talk about the scene. This scene, right? This one scene, I love this scene. It's obviously it's a turning point in the movie. It's at the end of the first act. But it has Allie going through a transformation that really in some movies would be the entire transformational journey of the entire movie. It's incredible. So she starts with her boss yelling at her, and that's showing who she was beforehand. And she ends, and she's clearly a star. She has captivated an audience. You know, the big star who's up there, tells her at the very end that she was amazing, and he believes it. He just watched that transformation. It's an incredible transformation to watch, but it's all in the writing. You can say it's in the acting, uh, and yes, she did a great job. You could say it's in the directing, and yes, that was done really, really well. But I'm going to tell you what made this transformational journey from start to finish was a writer who knew what they were doing. So let's jump in. This is about a turning point in her life, right? Uh, it's first, it's a decision point. She gets to make a decision. Is she going to step out on that stage? And, and then it's about the action, and really every action that she takes along the way that shifts her and has her step up to a new level. But let's watch the emotional character journey first, because this was pretty cool to watch. And this was a point where, yes, again, her acting was amazing, but it was built in. So it started with he's up there singing, she's watching, and then he announces to the audience that he's going to do her song, and she's confused, right? And then she's like, he comes over and he says that he wants her to come sing it with him, and she goes right into fear. And for plenty of reason, she's never stepped up in front of 10,000 people. This is not something she hasn't practiced, all that kind of thing. Then she refuses. It's like any normal human being would do this. Now, by the way, if we just pause for a second and we said, hey, instead of that, let's just do this. Let's just have her standing on the sidelines. She's excited about this beforehand. She knows he's going to introduce her, and she's excited about it. And she just runs straight out there and sings her song and that. I think this scene would have had almost no meaning if we had done that. Right? So setting these up, including this one, she's embarrassed. He now starts singing her song. It's like, oh my God. Setting all of these up is a big part of what caused the transformation. We're in the beginning of the stages of what's going to happen. She's not only reluctant, she doesn't want to do it for any reason. That scares her to death. So where does it go? Now she's listening to him sing, and it's like she's starting to feel desire. And we'll go over this in from a different direction in just a moment. And then she finally musters up the courage and steps out to the microphone. And at that point, about halfway through the song, she really gets into it and she immerses herself. And then we have that, oh my God, experience. It worked. And this changes people's lives. Now she knows she can do it. But I just want you to notice first, just look at the emotional journey, right? That was designed, it was set up, it was in the writing, it was what made this scene incredible. Now let's actually go through the journey. So basically, from an emotional perspective, this is for the audience. For the audience, there was surprise at the beginning. They hadn't heard this. They didn't know a new song was going to be released. They didn't know they were going to see a new talent and none of that kind of thing. Then, they saw, at least, and I'm talking about us as the audience also, we saw her going through her emotions. So we felt empathy, right? Then we wanted her to do it. This is her chance. Come on, do it. Step out there. There was suspense that then showed up, which was like, of course, is she going to do it or not? What's she going to do? She's going to stand on the side. And then finally she stepped out there, and now there's excitement, and she sang and she blew us away. right? So this was our journey. This was the audience journey that's watching the movie. Now let's take another journey here. Let's go through it again. And this is, the kind of the bigger journey of the thing. There was first his announcement. So a lot of times when you're writing this kind of thing, you go to this first because you're going, okay, wait a minute, what's the sequence of the story, of the scene, right? His announcement. Then he tells her he's going to sing it either way. Then he starts strumming his guitar and the music starts to draw her. Then he starts singing her words. Now, remember, this is a song that I don't even know if she really even finished it, but she's got somebody on stage singing her words. Then it's her turn, and she has to make a choice. She chooses to step up, and now her response and the action came from who she was as a character. So we are watching her journey. If you ask me, I'd say, from the beginning, this is something we've wanted to happen for her, right? We saw her singing at the drag bar, and then we saw her create a song right in front of him, create lyrics for a song that is ultimately the one that's going to be sang here. She's got talent. She's got ability. This is part of who she is, right? So we just essentially, the writer just created this whole sequence that would force her into, into creating that moment that changes her life. So now, again, she is living from her future of being a star. That's where we're coming from. So just, it's like, I hope you're seeing this. I hope you're seeing how much depth went into writing this. So even when she's reluctant, that's still part of what she needs to go through to accomplish this dream. Right? And again, pardon my voice. But it's like, you know how this is. If somebody suddenly asks you to step on stage and say something in front of people when you weren't prepared, that'd be pretty scary. But if you came out of it and it was a huge success and the audience absolutely adored you and loved it, that would compel you to keep moving forward in your life towards a future, right? So there's a future in this story. We're at 1/4 of the way through it. We're at the end of the first act. There's a future in this story. It's in the title, A Star is Born. So we're going to see her be a star. But this scene was necessary to get us there. There was a past, right? She sang on stage and performed well in front of a small audience. There's a present. This runaway train moment is happening. And there's a future. She is a true star. Now, let's go one step further. Because there's something else to this. And take a moment and ask yourself what that is. So here, Jack is operating as her change agent. We have two people in this scene, and we just watched her journey and what she went through. But Jack is here for a reason. He's operating as her change agent. He is going to escort her into the business, essentially. There's a whole bunch of reasons he's going to do it. But basically, it comes down to this. He sees the vision that she doesn't, right? He's pushing her out of the nest. He's creating her Susan Boyle moment. And if you haven't seen that lately, it's always worth watching for a creative person. So essentially he has created an opportunity for her transformation. And that's important. You need to have, if you're going to have a true transformation, especially something big like this, you need to have a change agent. So as the change agent, he's already on the other side of the change, right? The change that he is escorting her through in that situation is his normal life. being on stage, being in front of 10 or 20,000 people. He knows that world, and he knows the journey that's ahead of her. So he's just inspiring her to take the leap, right? So this isn't, it's important to know, what works with a change agent and be able to create that. It's like while we're focusing on Allie, Jack is doing the exact right thing to cause the change of this movie, even if it doesn't look like it. And by the way, I think they did such a cool thing with him by having, he's up there, he's drugged, he's slurring his words, right? Uh, he's a little messed up. And at the same time, he didn't talk with her about this in the beginning. So this is the kind of thing that if you want to blow a first date, this is the way to do it. So he's taking a risk, but he knows it's the right thing. And because of that, he takes that risk and it changes her life. Now, let's just kind of go through the countdown here. Once Jack comes over to her, from that moment, we're in a countdown. And the countdown is designed so it's going to force her into action. I don't know if he's intentionally thinking that, but I think he is. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he knows she's afraid. I think he knows that he knows she's got talent. And I think he knows that once she's on stage and once she's doing this, she will love it. However, he is taking a risk. This is really their first date. So it starts with, this is the countdown. Number 5, we're going to count down to number 1. All you got to do is trust me. That's what he says. Now, remember, he's also trying to create a relationship between the two of them. He knows, that's the other part that he knows, is he knows he wants to be with her and he wants her to be with him. So this line fits that. It's part of the relationship. I'm going to sing it either way. So that's him saying, you either get to stand and watch it and not be part of it and lose your chance, or you get to step in. I'm going to sing it. It's going to happen. This is not going to go away, so that's important. Then he starts the guitar music, which of course lures her in a bunch of other ways. He starts singing her song, and finally it's her turn. Is she going to take action? Is she going to step up? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we launch. And she steps to the mic and starts singing. Now, what you've seen so far, that's some pretty deep stuff. And it's all designed. Notice this, this scene was designed at the same level as, those screaming, crazy horror scenes where somebody goes from being comfortable to, by the end of the scene, they are in absolute terror, running from the monster, and people are dying around them, right? This scene is designed at that level of quality. It is a major turning point in her life. It's also a turning point in the story. That's why you would be thinking this way. But let's just go with a couple of other things, just so you can see. Normal ways to write this. Version 1. Jack would ask her to sing the song a week before the show, right? They would then practice together. She'd be nervous, but she still does it. That would be how most people would write this scene. And maybe they'd bond in the midst of that, and they would have some emotional moments from that. Version 2. She begs Jack to let her on stage. He finally gives in, but only for one song. They bicker about what the song is going to be. She chooses a new one, and it turns out to be a hit. That would be a second way to write this scene. Version 3, the show manager hears her song and sneaks her on stage. Jack is angry until he hears her sing, right? So there's 3 normal ways to write this, all of which would have been fairly average. And that's kind of what this whole thing comes down to. You know, at what level do you want to write? Three important things to know. What made this moment great again was the writing. You know, I looked at a lot of the comments on the particular scene, and you'll see people talk about how the acting's incredible and how the directing's incredible and all that kind of thing. Neither, if we would have done the one of version 1, 2, or 3 before with the same scene, they wouldn't be talking about it. We wouldn't even be seeing that scene. It is the most popular scene from that movie, and it's because of how it was written. Keep that in mind. You, the writer, you guys make things happen. Second, there's serious depth in this writing, you know, and it was built in intentionally. So you've seen what it did. Third, I believe you can write characters and scenes like this, but there are some things to learn. And this is when I talk with A-list screenwriters, they tell me when I ask them about their journey, because I've done this with about 50 different A-list screenwriters, I've asked them, what was your journey? What were the turning points? What caused you to be able to make the same change that Ali just made, right? What was it? Almost all of them, as one of the steps of their journey, talk about moments where they stepped outside the normal box of writing and learned something that changed everything for them. And really, this is what the question is on this one. What would happen if you could write scenes like what we just saw at that level of depth, with that level of understanding, and you could write like that on a regular basis? What if pretty much every main scene you put out, every most important one, every turning point scene, every scene where we needed the audience to feel real depth and have a deep experience, what if every one of them you could write at that level? And I'll tell you, part of what it is let's say this was the first scene that we read in a script, your script. If you hand a producer a script and it's got this quality of an opening scene, they are going to, first, they're going to read the whole script, but second, they are going to think, oh my God, I just found the next great up and coming talent. I just found somebody that is going to be incredible. This is one of the best writers I've ever seen. They will talk to people about you. They will go out of their way to work with you. And there's a reason. It's like when you just look at all the stuff we just went through, when you look at this level of quality, the producer won't know everything you did. They won't understand all the stuff that you did to make it amazing, but they will recognize that it stands above 99.5% of the scripts that they read. And that makes a huge difference. So stay with me for a couple of minutes. Let me just tell you about a class that will change your life. That's what the whole purpose of this class is. We looked at this thing after I'd had a conversation with an A-list screenwriter, and I said, what were the 3 things from your writing perspective that you would say you did that made the difference, that shifted you from being average to being professional? And he said, the first thing he said was, I spent 30 days. I did 3 30-day sessions, and the first one was just on characters. And he said, for 30 days, I explored until I learned something that changed my model about characters every day. He said, I didn't just do the thing. He said, I was reading about characters before. I'd read hundreds of scripts, the whole thing. But he said, what I did was every single day, I kept looking until I found something that changed my model. Right now, what he's talking about is what I referred to as breakthroughs. He writes from breakthroughs. He's not writing from just what pops into his head. He is living at a different level than most people. And the reason why is because he went through this 30 days. So that's what this program is about. He inspired this. And I just started asking, what if for a 30-day period of time, we really could, become so great at characters that we could create incredible characters that actors, directors, audiences absolutely loved, right? What would that be like for you? What kind of a difference would it make for you if you were such a great writer that, you could create anything? And what it takes really is gaining the deep insights and then building them into your writing process. So this is different than a normal character class. A normal character class, it's like, okay, you're finding out what to put together. You're learning about character profiles and you're learning, some tricks along the way. This one is about building it deep into who you are and having you discover things that most writers aren't even aware of. I have had development teams before where we brought on people who had told me they were great writers, and when we would watch scenes like this, they would only pick up 1/4 of it. And it's like, okay, yeah, they can't see the rest because they haven't done the internal processes to get there. So that's what this program is about. Is it gives you those internal processes to change who you are as a writer. For that, we're going to analyze characters every day, great characters, just like we just did. So we just went through what you're going to do, you are going to do every single day of this program. It'll be 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, four weeks in a row. Every single day, I will give you another great scene like this. You will analyze it using all the tools we give. You will discover things you had never seen before. You're going to work with characters from 20 different perspectives. During that period of time, your job is going to be to have regular insights and breakthroughs. What we want to do is emulate what that A-list writer did that changed his life, that took him from being a really good writer to being somebody truly great. And that's these. So I'll tell you exactly how to do this. We'll walk you through it. And then you will get to step out on stage like Allie and do it. Then you're going to bring all of those insights and breakthroughs into your current script. And again, this is the thing that I discovered interviewing all those A-list screenwriters was what makes them different is that they are writing through breakthroughs. Excuse me, let me back that up. They are writing through breakthroughs. That's what they're writing through. That's why people say, oh my God, they have incredible depth. That's why producers say things like, I could never write like they do. They're so amazing. They understand things I can't even see, right? And it's like, yeah, because they're living through breakthroughs. They found the deeper stuff. They know what they're doing. They know what makes things great, and they are operating from it. So that's what we're going to do with you. During this class, over a period of 30 days, you will have a whole series of breakthroughs. You will use so many different perspectives to look at characters that you'll be able to see things other people can't even see. You will be able to write things into your scenes that the producer just looks at in wonder about who you are. That's what this whole thing is about. So the class, let's see. The normal price on it is $199. And hang on a second, I'm sorry, I've got to check my dates on this. Yeah. Normal price on it's $199. Let me give you a special. This is for the first 20 people. The special you can get in for $129. That'll save you $70 off the price of this class. I promise you, this class is absolutely worth it. This will be one of those moments that you look back on and you say, this was the place that shifted things for you. This was one of the places where all of a sudden you were able to step through the veil and see things that other people can't see. And because of that, you can write things that other people can't write. So it begins on June 3rd. So that gives you a little time to look at your own characters, to think about the things that we said today, to focus on, what things you can already improve based on what we're doing. But as of June 3rd, every day you're going to be analyzing a new scene, because if I just analyze it for you, I'm telling you about it. I'm explaining it. You're going to pick up the things that stand out to you. But if you go through the analysis process, you will go deeper, deeper, deeper with every scene you analyze. And by the time we're done, who you are as a writer will be in a completely different place. You will be so much stronger, so much more confident, and you'll have the ability to cause actors, producers, directors to experience moments that blow them away. So if that's something you want to do, come join us. Again, this special right now is for the first 20 people. And I would say on this one, just jump in and do it. If for some reason by the end of the third day you don't like it, just all you got to do is email us by the end of the third day and we'll give you your money back. We take really good care of writers. We want you guys to be so successful. And we have models that can change your life. This is one of them. So I hope you enjoyed what we did today. And I got to tell you, I would love to hear from you after you've completed this course, what kind of breakthroughs you had and how much of a difference it has made in the script that you bring to it. So bring in a script that is already written, and your job is going to be to pick a scene on each day as you go through it. You'll have your breakthroughs and then go apply those breakthroughs to that scene and make it something phenomenal. This will change your skill level. It will change who you are as a writer. It will change how you think, and it will take that current script to a whole new level. So I hope you're looking forward to that. You're going to have so much fun during this class, and you're going to love what it does for you. So with that, I hope you also learned something valuable today and you had a chance to see this scene in a new way. Go out there and pick a scene and do something great with it right now and have fun. This is Hal Krosman with Screenwriting U, and I am wishing you the best with all of your writing. Good talking with you. Bye-bye, everyone.